let's talk about some easy techniques and playful techniques to get in touch with our inner child. So first, inner child healing is, to me, probably the most important work that we do, because the events and our upbringing, everything that happened from the time we were born to about age 7 really is absorbed and programmed into us and dictates how we live the rest of our life. Now, there is a lot of deep emotional work that can go into inner child healing, and we'll go over that down the road. But for now, let's just talk about some of the fun, playful ways to really incorporate your inner child. So first things first, remember to be weird. However that looks for you too, right? With this hustle culture mentality of working and grinding, so many of us have thrown play completely out the window, to the point where many of us have forgotten how to play, right? To the point where we have only found play in relief through substances. So real quick with me, I want you to shake it out. Shake it out. Ready? And I want to howl. Oh, 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 oh. Whatever you want to do, move it around, yell, make funny noises, pretend to beatbox, pretend to rap, like whatever it is, don't be afraid to just look silly. Kids are weird. We used to look silly all the time and we never thought twice about it. It wasn't until we were conditioned by our culture and other people to believe that we were too much. Let yourself be too much. Another thing I want you to do, take a picture of you, preferably ages 5 to 6, but if you have a memorable age, go ahead and use that one. Put that picture on the back of your phone. That is the only person you want to be impressing right now. Really sit and get in touch with and remember. Make a list of everything you remember being in love with as a kid, right? So for me, my thing is macaroni and cheese. When I am having just a day where I just need to be comforted, I will make a bowl of mac and cheese and put on some Disney movies, and my inner child will just be dancing with happiness, right? I've played Barbies as an adult. Not as well, of course, but because that was my favorite thing to do as a kid, right? Playing board games. I'm really looking forward to putting together a local game of Kick the Can. That was my favorite. So just remember, ask your inner child. Remember all of the things that you really, really enjoyed and get back in touch with those things. And I kind of just mentioned it, but watch different movies and TV shows from your childhood. This is really interesting to me too, because I see now how many character traits I picked up from different characters in movies that I really loved when I was little. Another fun one, make a list of everything you were really afraid of as a child. If anyone was like me, I was afraid of everything. I was afraid of water. I was afraid of going fast. I was afraid of roller coasters. So as an adult, with the ability to now coach my inner child and protect myself, I have done these things, right? And got to coach my inner child through those experiences, which has really helped me to learn how to reparent and coach myself in other experiences. One of my favorite meditation practices, if you will, is to go out in nature and pick a beautiful landscape or a tree or something that you really enjoy. Maybe it's not, nature, maybe it's a person that you're really in love with. Either way, what I want you to do is sit and look at this thing as if it's the very first time seeing it. As your first time on the planet right now. You were just zapped here. Very first time on this planet, this beautiful, nature that you're sitting in front of. Sit and imagine as if you have never seen anything like this before. Now, honestly, there are so many ways to include and involve your inner child, and your imagination is key, right? When I worked at an office, for instance, and I had to open up the mail and there were insurance policies, I would pretend that I was opening up Christmas gifts, right? We would have telemarketers that would call often. So I decided to make it a game with me and my coworker, who is also customer service, that I had a point system I created. So if a telemarketer called, we'd get points. If they were out of state, we'd get points if it was a boy or a girl, all these different things. So that way it was a little bit more fun to answer these phone calls of telemarketers. So last thing, if you don't talk to spirit out loud like I do, and actually talk to a lot of different spirits out loud, I highly recommend creating yourself an imaginary friend. And I know we get deterred from stuff like this because of what other people are gonna say or think about that, right? Different diagnoses that would incorporate that. But I want you to really feel like you have somebody that you can share your innermost, craziest thoughts with out loud to get them out. You can draw what they look like, you can name them, you get to pick. And remember, because like you're choosing it as an adult, like this isn't crazy, like don't do that to yourself. Again, this all falls into like being weird, but this is really gonna help you to have somebody to share and express with. Because last thing I do have to mention, I know I said last thing before, when I met and interacted with the spirit of money, right? The deity, the energy that is money, that energy was incredibly playful. And we talk often in manifestation about resonating at the same frequency as whatever it is that you're trying to attract. And that can be difficult when we don't know what the frequency or resonance is. So I will tell you that the energy of money was very playful. So, and thus far, my experiment has been working, where I have really tried to incorporate more play every day, right? Like my day is a success, not when I get a bunch of stuff done, but with how much I'm left throughout the day. And in doing so, I am attracting more abundance into my life and recognizing the abundance I already have.